a girl is eligible for 20 million, right? Because she might go to Chicago and be a prince, but she might hit a lick in Alabama, you see. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So it's a little bit too much juice because she has to look a certain way where she looks like she's locked into Key, you see. So it's like when Giselle, she looks like she's locked into Key, right? But then so people will mention her sister and they'll be like, wait, expose her because they'll try to understand. You try to play. It's funny because I'm not saying you gotta know it don't really sound right because people will be like, he didn't sound right because I'm just saying you gotta know because so they gonna pray. So it's really good because when 3 Piece sings, a girl should change the coat of many colors in her face and her titty said shouldn't really be a drop. So girls do like listening to that. It will get old, but not really, because a girl will like make a video and she is pretty. You could put her on the river, but she knows she might get a double nose. You see, so like I'm the type of nigga I'd rather have a double nose because it's like that's what I wanted. You see, because I wanted to like I want my arm to be like really big, but it didn't come out like that because you know. But I do my singing like it's like if I'm going down the river, it's like a November or 12. You can't shape a river like a November, but you could shape a hospital before. So it's like, what if a girl couldn't really grab the lemon, but then the girl from Heartland, she could squeeze it like she was squeezing her, push out her titties, you see? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So a girl can hit an Alabama lick, but then she wouldn't know that when Dorothy Dandridge came around, like you'll sex with her, but she's going to get immediately girl, like a little ass girl come around making a nigga horny, you see? So it does work, but it's like it will be a crossover, but you didn't know that the girl could still open a window to God. It could be like a Solange mixed with Drea Sabara, but you'll still remember her Spanish, not her nose, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. So she is pretty as hell though. So it's like she could cross. She's not even a Bambi. She's like a mother of Bambi's mother, you see. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. But when you start throwing like a Spanish girl, pretty nose like a pillow, like put a Superman on it, it's a little different, you see. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. But at the same time, like it's like a skinny girl too. So she might want to go to the thrift store, but she's not going to get enough because she's going to spray a pussy on people. And guess what? She's going to be like, oh, I still see. Who does she see? Like a Dumb Mac drop, you see, Meek, Roseanne Armilio, not Rusty drop, you see. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So she'll see like a Devon with her drop, and it won't really sound right. You'll see like a Solange, even like a Beyonce. Adriana Lima was pretty, but when you start mentioning Amalita puts her breast out like around, just like I said, it's like, you know, that little girl with the hair, she was making videos and she was pretty, but why is it that there was like a Georgia Smith mixed with her, the charity lady, and also the other one, she was kind of ruby, so like she kind of looks like a Leah, she you see, but more like kind of like a retarded one, like her hairline is too thick. So like that's what I'm trying to tell you. So she is pretty, but like you don't want to see like my belief, you see. So I'm talking about pretty ass girls, weight like that. So Emilio, they'll probably say I want from the but not necessary, you see. So they'll say Jade, but they'll say Sage, but I'm leaning to more like a definite drop, you see. I'm black type of thing. Oh God, I'm in a 1v1 type of thing. Oh, honesty bone. So it's like it just depends. If it's a stinky anus and she was like, oh, I'm so pretty, but Devin I just started doing a trick. It's like you see, she was eligible for a drop. Pretty bone. Show up. I'm black. Just can't handle it. You see, because like it's like I did want my girl to have a skinny nose too. Like you see, so it'd be like a Morgan when I had sex with her. It's like I'll get horny in a different way, you see, because she's got a certain face. Well, that's why I pointed out because she'll be like, "Oh, it feels good," because like Rika is good. Like it's like she'll get a Spanish guy to say, "Oh, I need it," but when it's Morgan, like it's like her face is like so pretty that it's like I'm attracted to her because it will be good, right? So she could definitely get a man. Lots of light skinned niggas pointed it out because she is very pretty. So yeah, 6 pack is good, but when you mention the Tobias, like it just depends. Like when he was in the McPherson with me, but it's like he has to point out, he has to tag, so it has to be a lawsuit. Murphy has to spoof on it, you see. So like sometimes girls get horny at the Viking. I'm looking at like a El Meek top bone, maybe with a Deanna, maybe throwing a Brussels ass Spanish girl, like a kind of like a Stacey Rico, Lindsay Lohan, maybe throwing like a Maria Rivera, and then do a crossover, an average Brussels bone with a Wendy, Wanda, a descendant. So you can name three Wandas, three names, and still point out one Lindsay Lohan talk to my Apple, one type of thing to show the different value of who people are. When you mention like also lanes and a booth, we can't access it because she would have too much power in a place in a realm that's not related to her belief. Or someone saying she's kind of making like a Chris Brown sound without having Gigi Hadid versus the nose of all noses, the key of all keys, not in one King Arthur movie. Maybe a Audrey Hepburn white girl point out, but not related to a descendant from a different place. So a lot of people have similar noses, like Dick Van Dyke. He makes girls horny like they don't realize he looks a certain way, but he does have game time. It's like Dick Van, what's the other one? Magic Johnson. So you do have to point out it will be like they do have game time because they're like, when the way that they start talking to girls, you have to be careful. That's why you'll say, okay, but they is get like that. So when you're doing a Dennis Rodman and like a girls will say, oh, he's so handsome, Simmons. Oh, he's so, but you don't want to see what goes on in the inner locker room, you see. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, you gotta see it go because niggas is raw, but you have to point out at the end of the day, you do want to point out this nigga's about 6'7", niggas only stand about 6'3". So when you have one life to live, you do want to point out, a nigga say, hey, I am 6'7". You don't mention people with noses who's 6'7" at a certain way. So yeah, like Jose, like he is raw, but like it's just like he just not eligible for a 6'2" point out, you see. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So I understand. I didn't really want Duffy Ballsack, you see. So it'd be like a T Money, like an Antichrist thing. And I'd be like, man, it's like Roman good, but it's like, hey, I said, no, like Margaret he rolled, but it's like, I don't really see it. So I pointed it out and they was getting angry. So if a girl has a pretty nose, it's like, I could tell you she bends my dick, you see. So I'm giving you the trick. When I see people in relationship, it's just gab because they'll be dating and they'll be like, this shit raw. So you don't want to see like no green nigga. They say he's handsome, but my first impression is like he doesn't really look like Tyson Chandler at all. So you can't be trying to offend other NBA players when there's a Victor Wembanyama. They kind of look alike, but they say it's not true. So I have to point out when there's Tyson Chandler, you might have to drop because it's a light skinned nigga. You mentioned Chris Brown is light skinned. You mentioned that Shannon is light skinned, but you claim you don't see the difference of a basic light skinned nigga, kind of like a Michael mixed with a Josh, but a light skinned nigga with the beard. So it's like you do want to point out like Shamar Moore's raw, but he has the no, I don't know what it is. Like he kind of looks like Brad Pitt a little bit, but when you stand counsel, it's like a Tyson, like you just have to know. So it's like he kind of could wear a yellow shirt, he could take the shirt, so it is like a certain way, you see. So it just depends when girls say, oh, he's a certain way, because that's why Bow Weezy will be allowed to be there. So Rick Fox, he's kind of like Dwayne Johnson mixed with the Mexican. So it's like he's not really, he's black, but he's like Brother Saki. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So like people will get angry when they see a young nigga dating white girl with blue eyes kissing him, saying, why is it that I love him? You see, because it would be a certain way when I was young. I got just a series of unfortunate events where people got offended saying that because you got so angry that you were watching a secret that you couldn't get no type of effect that you were trying to offend people with. When the lady took her apple, took her domain, stated a claim, and the mixed lady got offended. But at the end of the day, it's just you don't want to do it. But when her coochie gets hot and in the crib, like she'll say, going to the crib is just, I know, but there's the ego, see, because she is kind of like, if she wears, when you start mentioning a wedding ring, when you start mentioning like a point out when it might be like a wine, like a girl might say, oh, I'm going to get, Jada Pinkett is going to get destroyed by Thandi Newton. It's like, it just depends when you have a girl like squinting at people's face, but they don't want to see because she is kind of pretty. So Morgan, it just depends. She's still African American, you see. So you have to point out you don't want to see like an African American, like okay, why? Okay, Miss Rose's daughter is pretty, but like if you put her against the lady, it's all right. But when you use a lose you to love me bone, she's still like, if she gets like a real nigga, they'll say, oh, it's Aisha. You don't want to point out like how it might be someone saying oh, we might see other people say it's not God. Serenity is good, but you have to get an opinion. What if Serenity said, I kind of wanted to date Benjamin, but I didn't really like an African nigga, but she was made for like a Aisha, but I don't want him to bother me because I want to get J. Cole, but mixed with my real one versus my secondary one. You see, so that's how it goes. So a girl says God. So there is Spanish niggas like Serenity has black hair, small lining. It's very nice. She could probably write in a red notebook, and it's good. You see, she's not really like Diamond. She's from Virginia. Her parents is probably a little different. You see. So you do want to point out people say it's from Chicago, but you have to point out some girls only go to Chicago because they hang around other girls' domain, you see. So like they say, oh, she could get a husband and it's good, but like not if it's like Natasha versus Red Bone Silk, you see. So when you point out like a thick bone, girls have the nose, they have everything, but they like it just comes in one piece, you see. That's the way it goes. So they'll say, oh, it's not true, but it's like I don't know. He kind of pointed something out, and he was laying low, blessing God, and you was still unfortunate events trying to attack a nigga because you were satanic and jealous and full of anger and nasty hate. When if it wasn't for God, he would have had nothing. And like Lindsay Lohan makes music too, not just Bobby V. Miley Cyrus makes music too, not just music soul child. So it can't hit a key like "Lose You to Love Me" and captivated something that I was like, it was good for the time. You see, you promised the word and was it for me? But it's like it wasn't sure that like, so whoever's doing the DJ is real intelligent because it is good. But at the same time, he kind of pointed out, man, you was telling him don't watch his stuff. And when he listened to his Pretty Ricky, he was pointing out his girls was real life, and you got offended because you were a homosexual, trying to tell people when he built his life, he had to smack the coronavirus doodle, and it was an Amalita rhythm with mud and trees and bristle at a certain time.